Over 30 Trump allies served with subpoenas over the January 6th riot. The judge in the Trump master case over the Mar-a-Lago raid threatened by a so-called Russian agent from Houston. Donald Trump accused of having a mobster-like meeting at his Virginia golf course, and nearly two-thirds of Americans say Biden's attack against MAGA Republicans is dividing this country. I'm your host, Hyde. This is Hide and Seek News. Hello, all you beautiful and amazing people. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. The show is brought to you by the Hide and Seek Media Store. Get the merch link in the description down below. And if you use code 1776, I'll give you 20% off your entire order. So 30 plus Trump allies have been subpoenaed by a grand jury over the January 6th riot. And this is just another step in the political persecution of MAGA Republicans and anyone who does not see eye to eye with the Biden regime. Along with that, we have the judge that has ordered a special master in the Mar-a-Lago raid case being threatened by a woman who claimed to be a Russian agent. Donald Trump meets some what looks like investors on his national golf course in Virginia, and the media goes crazy with speculation about mobster type meetings and Ocean's 11 style, charades and whatnot. And it gets really out of hand. And as a result, we have a story saying that 2/3 of all Americans believe that Biden's attack on MAGA Republicans is dividing the country, not uniting the country. So we're going to get into all of these stories, and we're going to discuss how these topics and what's going on affect you and me, the everyday American, and what we need to do to fix it. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys watching. If you like what you see so far, make sure to smash that like button and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video, the topic, and the channel. I love to engage with my viewers, so feel free to fire away. But let's get into this first story I have pulled up here from CBS. Over 30 Trump associates subpoenaed by grand jury over alleged efforts to influence the 2020 election results. They go on to say, more than 30 people associated with the former President Donald Trump and alleged efforts to influence the 2020 election results have received federal grand jury subpoenas, four sources told CBS News. The subpoenas, many of which were issued last week, mark a significant escalation in the Justice Department's investigation into origins of the January 6, 2020 Capitol riot and other alleged attempts to stop the transfer of power to then President-elect Joe Biden. One source familiar with the case characterized the investigation as huge. The Justice Department is examining how money was raised and spent on alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 election, efforts to submit fake alternative electors to Congress from states lost by Trump, and the Stop the Steal rally held at the Ellipse adjacent to the White House grounds on January 6, just before the Capitol riot. The Justice Department's inquiries into potential mishandling of presidential and classified records found at Trump's Florida estate is a separate matter, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second, so keep watching because it's all related. It's all tied together into one failed attempt at subverting your enemy, right? And I will explain as we go along, so keep up. For those who were served subpoenas include those, they go on to say, those who were served subpoenas included employees and contractors for the Trump campaign and Republican National Committee, including poll watchers, according to two sources familiar with the subpoenas. The sources said the identities of those subpoenaed range from the household names to mostly unknown low-level field staffers. CBS News has confirmed that close Trump aide Will Russell received a subpoena by email last week. And the New York Times reported last week that former White House senior aides Stephen Miller and Brian Jack also received subpoenas. Jack, an attorney for Russell, did not respond to a request for comment. Miller declined to comment through an intermediary. FBI personnel served several of the subpoenas early in the morning last Wednesday and Thursday, the sources said, adding that in at least 2 instances, agents executed search warrants that allowed them to seize individuals' cell phones. So this is just another step, right? This is just one more step in their attempt to stop Donald Trump and the America First movement, right, from taking back control of this country. Now, they're going after Trump in every which way they can, and it hasn't stopped. They've been doing this since 2017 when he took office, and it has not stopped because they are terrified of Trump. And now that he's starting to win, right, like again in the Mar-a-Lago case where he won the judgment to get a special master to oversee all of the stuff that was taken from Mar-a-Lago and then determine what the FBI can use, what is relevant for the FBI's case and what is not, right? But the funny thing is that the judge who ruled that Trump could have that special master is now being threatened. I have this story here from CNBC. Texas woman charged with threatening judge in Trump's special master case. The key points they list are: a Texas woman faces criminal charges after she allegedly threatened to kill federal judge presiding over a dispute between former President Donald Trump and the DOJ. Judge Alan Cannon authorized a special master to review government records seized from Trump's Florida home, Mar-a-Lago. Tiffany Gish, calling herself by the name of fictional Russian agent Evelyn Salt, left threatening voicemails for Cannon. A federal magistrate judge in Houston said Gish appears to suffer from severe mental impairments with symptoms including paranoia and delusions. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, people, but were those same kinds of statements made when there were people outside the Supreme Court justices' homes protesting and screaming obscenities and threatening them? Were any of those people arrested and claimed to have symptoms of mental impairments and paranoia and delusions? Or did the White House come out and say that those protests were okay, even though they're actually illegal? I don't know. Leave a comment down below. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I could be misremembering that. But I'm not 100% sure. The problem, right, is the tit for tat, the problem is rules for thee and not for me, right? So it's okay for people to protest outside Supreme Court justice's house when it's about abortion and your agenda. But when it doesn't fit your narrative, right, and it has to do with something on a positive side for Trump, now it's all bad. Now this person's crazy and suffers severe mental impairments, and we can't be sure this person's a real Russian agent. I mean, she's gone around claiming all kinds of stuff. Well, I don't know. Call me crazy, but if I were a spy, I would lie to as many people about what I did in as many different ways as I could just to keep everybody off the trail of what I really do. But I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm crazy. I'm just one of those wackadoo, right-wing nuts out here. So, and you want to talk about delusional, right, and paranoia. How about this story from Newsweek? What photos of Donald Trump on golf course reveal. Now, if you guys haven't seen these stories, there's this one here from The Independent. Trump goes golfing with aides, but no golf clubs, drawing comparisons to mobsters and Ocean's 11. Are you kidding me? Okay, so look, you can see in this picture, of course, nobody has golf clubs, but do any of these people look vaguely familiar? Okay, this could be Devin Nunes, maybe, but yeah. What guy in Trump's circle had the audacity to wear blue jeans around Trump? Look at the rest of these guys are all wearing dress pants or khakis except this dude. He's wearing blue jeans. Come on. Come on. The only people wearing hats are Trump and Eric Trump and this guy. So, like, I'm confused as to how anyone would think that these are people from the government, especially when they go on a tour of this golf course. Like, to me, this looks like Trump either trying to sell, lots on his course for new homes, or he's trying to pitch, these guys to buy the course from him or invest in the golf course. Who knows? But just because he has a meeting with a bunch of people on a golf course where they don't have any golf clubs doesn't mean that it's conspiracy or that it's some kind of evil criminal thing. The only reason you would ever assume that in looking at this photo is if you already believe Trump is a criminal and he's out to do criminal things and he's out to hurt the country and destroy America and all of that other crazy stuff that corporate media tells you. Okay? But there's a reason they're telling you all that. There's a reason why the White House is constantly going after Trump and the DOJ is attacking Trump. It's because they want you divided. They want this country divided. They want us fighting each other so that we don't pay attention to what's going on around us. And it's working. I have this story from the Daily Wire. Nearly 2/3 of Americans, even most Democrats, say Biden's attacks on MAGA Republicans are dividing the country. They go on to report, nearly 2/3 of Americans, including a surprisingly large majority of Democrats, believe the Biden administration's attack on so-called MAGA Republicans is dividing the country. According to a survey of 1,277 U.S. adults conducted by INI/TIPP, whoever that is, between September 7th and 9th, nearly 2/3 of Americans, 62%, agree that the White House's attacks on so-called MAGA Republicans increased division in the country, while just 29% disagree. Majorities of Americans also agree that Biden's attack on MAGA Republicans endangers Americans' First Amendment rights and was a politically biased use of the office. Now, I don't need to read any more of that article because we obviously know that all of these actions are politically motivated, right? Dividing the country to keep us fighting so we don't pay attention to what they're doing behind the curtains is politically motivated. Attacking MAGA Republicans, vilifying 74 plus million Americans in this country is politically motivated. The raid on Mar-a-Lago over some magazine articles and a couple of declassified freaking papers. Politically motivated. And I want you to ask yourself this question. Imagine for 1 second that in 2018, Donald Trump said he wanted to know what documents Obama took from the White House when he left, what documents he declassified and what documents he had, and authorized the FBI to get a search warrant to go find those documents. Let's say that Trump did that for the Fast and Furious documents, the entire program, the entirety of unredacted. Let's say Trump asked for that. He wanted it. He sent the FBI after Obama to go get it. As much as the corporate media vilified Donald Trump as it was, can you imagine what they would have said if he would have done what Joe Biden and his administration's Department of Justice is doing to a former president of the United States? Oh, Donald Trump would have been strung up by his toes. Are you kidding me? He'd have been impeached 3 times if he'd have done something like that. Rhino Republicans would have turned on him in a heartbeat. And who knows how bad it could have gotten. But Joe Biden does it, and it's okay. It's normal. This is not the politicization or the this is not the politicalization of the DOJ, right? This is not about politics. This is about crimes. If that's the case, why has nothing happened to Hunter Biden yet? We all know he's committed crimes. His laptop proves it. He lied on a federal application to obtain a firearm. That's a felony. Why hasn't he been charged and sentenced? There's a lot of things that the Biden crime family has done that they haven't been charged with. There's a lot of things that the Clinton crime family has done they haven't been charged with. There's plenty of proof out there. Because this is all political. This is all to stop Donald Trump from running in 2024. Because while you have a lot of people out there who will say, well, we should vote for DeSantis because he's a more mild version of Trump, and nobody really knows who DeSantis is, so when they try to attack him, it's not really going to work. Here's what I got to say to that argument. DeSantis is a politician. Can you trust any politician anymore? I don't trust a single one of them. Not a single one. Because none of them are doing anything to fix the problems. They're going with the flow and they're getting along. I have a problem with that. You know, I recently started listening to, I knew about him before, but I recently started listening to more of Dave Smith, from the Mises Caucus, comedian and libertarian. And, he kind of started making me think more about what needs to be done in this country, going forward. And as many of you already know who watch my videos, I am a person who is all about limited government, shrinking the government, getting rid of all these, lifelong politicians and really turning over this country back to the people. DeSantis won't do what Trump needs to do and what we all expected him to do in his first term. And a lot of us understand the reason why he didn't do it in his first term because, you're trying to get elected. If history tells us anything over the last 20 years in this country, most presidents get a second term. So I think Trump was banking on that, and it kind of blew up in his face because the whole COVID and Fauci thing, that really hurt Trump by keeping Fauci on the entirety of 2020 and listening to him and doing what he was suggesting. So I have a really big issue with that. And I firmly believe we are going to see a whole new side. I firmly believe we are going to see the Donald Trump we all wanted to see in 2016 when we elected him in 2024. The only problem is he going to be able to run? Because the Democrats are doing whatever they can to stop him. And I have to say, if they succeed and they are able to stop Donald Trump from running for president in 2024, I'm still not sold on Ron DeSantis being the person who we need to put into that office. Because the person that we need to put into that office needs to go in with as much support from the America First Party as he can possibly get, and the Libertarian Party. And that's another thing we need to focus on, is making the third party in this country stronger than it is. Now, as someone who lives in a state with specific voting laws, you know, jumping on board with the Libertarian Party is throwing my vote away. And I'm not ready to do that just yet. Now, if Dave Smith and the Libertarian Party can provide a candidate who is a legitimate libertarian and somebody who is legitimately going to shrink the government and do right by the American citizen all the way around, get us out of foreign wars, get us out of foreign countries that don't want us there, stop policing the world. If you can provide a candidate that it would truly do that and stand behind what they say, you may have a shot. But right now, nobody believes in that party. And that's something we have to fix. Because as much as I say we need to vote for MAGA Republicans, we need to be voting for people who believe in taking care of this country first and shutting down the American empire and turning it back over to a constitutional republic like it needs to be, and in the hands of the people and the states. Until we get those candidates, Donald Trump is the bull in the china shop we need. And I really don't think DeSantis would get enough done. I think he would cave a lot because of politics. And I don't think Donald Trump is going to cave to politics at all in his second term. At least that's what a lot of us are hoping for. I'm going to leave it there. I appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end of the video. It does mean a lot to me that you've made it this far. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. Smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video, the topic, and the channel. I love to engage with my viewers, so feel free to fire away. But the best thing you guys can do if you want to help support this channel is to hit that share button and share this video on all social media platforms. Those interactions alone will show YouTube's algorithm that my video needs more impressions, and that's how we're going to grow. Thank you for everything you guys are doing. I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you later. Peace.